Hey there, this is Jen from a-mama.com. Thanks for downloading this free all-in-one blog cover template. You can use this for lots of different things, obviously for the cover images of your blog. You can also use it for Pinterest preview images, use them as cover photos on Facebook. It's really quite versatile. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how to use it and customize it for your needs. I'm obviously using Photoshop in Windows. If you have a Mac, I'm going to try to give instructions that make sense to everyone without using keyboard shortcuts, but you may need to do a little playing around with it to get it to work for you. So you want to open up your file first, and probably the palette you're going to want open the whole time is the Layers palette. Everything else you can kind of, shut down here. You've got your Layers palette open. I'm going to drag this over here. And there you've got your layers. So you'll want to find the layer that's called Your Photo. It's going to be at the very bottom here. Now there's two ways that you can import your own picture into this. The first way, you find that layer called Your Photo, you right click, Mac users I believe it is Control click, maybe, however you right click on a Mac, and you're going to want to hit Replace Contents. And then when you have that, you can look for the image that you want to place in there. I'm going to put this one of my Happy Christmas child. And you'll see that it is a little bit too big. So what you can do is you hit Control T, or you can come up to Edit and hit Free Transform. So now you'll see the boundaries of this box here that you can drag to resize. Oops. Let me zoom out just a little bit because that's how big this is. So again, Edit, Free Transform. You'll see that the bounds of the image are way bigger than the template that we want. So if you come over here to one of the corners and press Shift, it will let you resize the image without getting it all, wonky dimensions here. So pressing Shift to unzoom, to reshape it. You can move it around as you need to. I'm going to actually resize like this so that my little man can have his face over here. And then when you're done with any changes, you'll see this check mark, which means you're going to commit that transform. Or if you decide not to, you can always press the little cancel symbol. The other way that you can do this is to just open up the image in your file browser. I just did that twice, but that's okay. And you just pull up that image, and I will grab this one, also of my very adorable child, and literally just drag it into Photoshop, and it'll import it that way. This way will create a whole new, what's called a smart object on top of the original one. So just be aware of that. Again, you can resize it, press Shift, and drag the corners like so. And then you've got your image on there. The next thing that you can customize, so if you see when I drag it in from the folder, it makes a whole new layer. Let's say I decide I don't want this image, I want the Christmas image. You can just make that one invisible. So the next thing you can customize is the color wash. So you come over here to your layers and go to the color wash layer. Amazingly enough, again, there's two ways that you can do this. You can come over here to your color picker. You set your foreground color. Let's say I want it to be pink. Kind of have an affinity for pink. Come over here, get your paint bucket tool, and just fill that color wash layer with a new color. The other option I built in for you is through an adjustment layer, and that adjustment layer is going to be right above the color wash layer. Right now it is invisible. To make that adjustment layer visible, you want to click on this little square here right next to the layer and make the icon that's shaped like an eye, visible. And then you can right click or again control click that layer and hit edit adjustment, and you can basically pull this slider any direction you want. That's an ugly color. Let's go with green. You can tweak the saturation, which will make it brighter, or, well, not brighter, but it'll make the color more intense or less intense, and you can also play with the lightness and darkness. So that's the adjustment layer. Okay, so we'll use green for Christmas. Then after that, you can change the text. So in order to do that, my icons are all gigantic, so it's kind of hard to see. So in order to do that, come over here and click on the Type tool, which is a giant capital T, horizontal type tool, and you want to mouse over the text. So if you see right out here, the little, whatever it is, I used to know what that was called. The typey icon has a dotted square around it, but if you come over here to the text, that square disappears. So you want to mouse over the text itself so that the square is gone, and that will let you select the existing text layer. If you wanted to make your own text layer, a separate one, then you would click elsewhere on the screen. But for now, you can just edit what I've already put in there for you. I'm going to change you can put your blog post title on here, or if this is for a page on Facebook or whatever, this is sort of your title text here. So I'm going to call this New Christmas Traditions for Baby. I would never write a post like this because I'm not organized to make a nice Christmas, but that's okay. And then you come over here and press the checkmark button again to commit that change. And I made two separate text areas for you. If you come over here in the layers, the name of the layer will change along with the text. That's only true for these text layers here. That's not true for these ones. But you'll see that way you can see what you're working on. If you want to change the blog address down here, again, I'll show you that again. Get the type tool selected, you mouse over that, wait for the little box to disappear, click there, and then you can change your text layer. So, waymoreorganizedmom.com. I'm sure that exists out there. And then click the check mark again. And then after you customize the text, you can choose a shape to outline your text. So I gave you three options here. There is the circle. There is also a rounded rectangle and a square. Now if you want to do a different shape, you would make the white circle invisible, again by clicking on this eyeball icon right here. And let's say I want to do the rounded rectangle instead. So you'll see that appearing there. Or if I just want the regular non-rounded square, you can do that as well. So there you have it. That is the basic ways to customize this blog template. Now I'm going to go into real quickly a few more advanced customizations that you might want to use. So let's say I wanted to move this, and that would be a good idea. As you can see, the text is kind of covering baby's face here. So in order to move that, go to your layers, and you want to press shift and select all the layers that you want to move. So you want to move, this whole thing is going to move as a unit. So you want to select waymoreorganizedmom.com, the small text layer, the large text layer, press shift and it'll select both of them at once, and then also your white square. And what you can do then, I'm going to minimize that for a second, click on the move tool, and move everything over here. So if you don't want your text to be centered, then you can move it that way. So then let's say I want a rectangle rather than a square. So I'm going to click on the shape layer, white square, and this is pretty easy as well. Edit, free transform, and I can just drag that to whatever dimensions that I want it to be. Press the check mark. Let me see here. A couple other customizations that you can do. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Let me check my notes here. You can also change the line around the box, so that's pretty easy. Coming back into layers, click your white square. Look for the shape tool. So this right now it's under custom shape. If you long click on it, you'll see rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon. Any of these tools will work. It doesn't really matter as long as you have that tool selected and the shape layer selected. Then you can come up here and change the stroke. So the stroke is the outline of the shape. If I wanted to make that thinner or fatter, I could do that. If I want to change the color, you double click on here, or actually single click, and let me change it to a nice deep red, mulberry color for that. And this is my favorite way to customize this. If you come over here after so color, size, I'm going to make this a little smaller. And then my favorite way is with the stroke option. So you can do a dashed line, or a dotted line, or a solid line. You can also mess with the corners a little bit. That may not make a huge difference for this particular layout here. But that's another thing that you can customize on here. We got more options. You can change the length of the dashes. So if you lower that number, the dashes will be shorter. You can change the gap space between them. So you can really get very custom with this template here. So there you have it. Oh, no, wait, I lied. One more thing. If you want to change it so that there's just a band of color, which you can also do. You come down here to the color wash layer, again press edit, free transform, and just lower that to halfway, or you can move it up into the middle and make your blog title go across the middle like a ribbon here. This does not look very good right now because the colors are not very well coordinated. But you can customize many different parts of this. And then when you are done, save as, not save, or you can do save, but either way, to publish it on the internet, Facebook, your blog, Instagram, you want either a JPEG or a PNG. I highly recommend saving a copy of this as a PSD file, a Photoshop file. That way you can just open this and drop new pictures in there, especially once you get the color wash and the border color and the text color the way that you like it. Save it as a Photoshop file. Basically it's your own custom template, and you can just drop new images in anytime you need that, rather than doing this process every single time. So if I wanted to change this, I would put a new image in there. Our favorite toys. So you can change that and have a new cover image every single time. So that is the template in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found it useful. If you were to do this in InDesign, you can actually do much more customization options with the borders here. So if you want to know how to do that, let me know in the comments and I can work on a template for you with that. So thanks so much for watching. This is Jen at a-mama.com. Thanks. Bye-bye.